everyone. Welcome to another Meet the 818 Zoom interview. Today, we're here with Mr. Jojo Aguilar, production designer, art director, and concept designer who has worked in the entertainment industry for 30 years. You might be familiar with some of his stuff. He's worked with the Legend of Korra, Gatchman, and Justice League as well. And he is currently the art director for Netflix first Filipino animation, Trese. Welcome, Jojo. How are you?
Hi, Dan. Thanks for having me.
No worries. Thanks for taking time from your busy schedule. I know it's like super crazy out there right now. So just a couple of questions. Seeing that you've been an artist for the past 30 years. What's inspired you to pursue this career?
That's a good question, Dan. And I can honestly say, I've tried a lot of other things, a lot of other jobs, and I can't really do anything else but art. I mean, I've had so many jobs. I didn't do well in school. I just barely graduated. But one thing I, could do is draw. And, every time I draw something and I finish it, I feel, a sense of like gratification that keeps me going. I just, and when, I tried it out when I was really young, right out of high school, working in animation, but I was so young and everyone was so old that it didn't appeal to me, and so I tried a bunch of other things. I went to college, I tried a bunch of other jobs, and then I came back to animation, and the second time I came back was all with young people like my age. So then it was like super fun, and that's how I continued with it.
Very nice. What was, I guess, one of your first projects that you've ever worked for or worked on?
1988, I worked in at Hanna-Barbera, and I did like clean up characters for the Smurfs, Pirates of Dark Water, and a pup named Scooby-Doo. And yeah, that's when I learned, wow, I can earn money doing this, and it's a lot of money for that age. But then there were old guys in the room smoking, and I didn't smoke back then, and I'm like, oh my God, this is horrible.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, so that was the first couple of projects of mine.
That's pretty awesome. Especially since you mentioned Pirates of Dark Water. Huge fan. I know you're gonna say that it wasn't out when I was younger, but back episodes. So where do you get your inspiration for creating characters or just creating the designs for the cartoons?
Yeah, it's really fun doing what I do because I'm doing backgrounds, characters, props, effects, like everything, you see on screen, and it's world building. And I've gotten so used to it that, it pushes my imagination. But also because I'm working with a lot of great, people, like the best in the business, that, man, it just keeps getting better because I work with like geniuses like Jay Oliva, like Zack Snyder, Dave Hartman. These guys all have just an amazing ability to tell a story. And I'm just like so, happy and proud to work with them that I'm excited to go to work every day and, excited to do the next project. And yeah.
That's pretty awesome. Do you feel that with working with such big names or just with working with such talented people that you get pushed to kind of like give your best, or?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's like every day, you know, you feel like you have to give your best because you're showing it to them, you're getting approvals. But I'm telling you, also another huge inspiration and something that keeps me going is working with the artists and even the young artists, you know, and it's like, wow, they have so much like to give and to learn and to offer. And it's like this great, you know, sharing back and forth. And, you know, I feed off their energy and their imagination. It's really, you know, it's really, really exciting right now for me.
Awesome.
Because of that.
In your many years that you've been an artist, do you have like a top 3 favorite characters that you've ever made? Or created? I'm sorry, not made, but created.
Okay, yeah, I do. Okay, so I'm very proud of the stuff that I've done recently for Zack Snyder for the Snyder Cut, which is the Green Lantern and like Granny Goodness and Martian Manhunter. But and then, you know, I'm really proud of the stuff I did on just recently. I'm working on Army of the Dead. It's the prequel.
Oh, nice.
To, it's Army of the Dead Las Vegas, and it's the prequel to the Army of the Dead Netflix live action. I'm working on the animated show, and simultaneously I'm also art directing on the Norse project. It's a Twilight of the Gods with Zack Snyder and Jay Oliva.
Wow.
So that's really exciting too.
That's a lot of projects.
I know.
Do you find it, when you work on multiple projects, do you find it challenging trying to like switch on and off on like different characters? Or is it kind of like for example, as a writer, if I'm working on one project, I kind of have to focus on that one project and I can't switch to the other project because it's 2 different voices. Like, do you find that as an artist, it's the same thing, or can you simultaneously work on 2 things at the same time?
You know what, Dan? I'm telling you right now, it's only recently that I have been able to switch like very quickly and not have that like getting used to another style thing. It's like I can handle it. I can, because I've just been so conditioned through the years, but it's only just recently. So
Oh, wow.
I know what you mean. It is hard.
Yeah, no, because when you said that, I was like, wait a minute, how does he switch from one project to another? It's like you start drawing the same character and then, oh no, it's the wrong character for the wrong project.
Right.
But seeing that you know, you're so experienced, I can totally see that it's just, you know, it's probably fluid for you already.
Yeah, it's gotten there.
Oh man. So currently, you're also the art director for Trese. And for those who don't know what Trese is the first Filipino animation picked up by Netflix, which came out June 10th, right? And it was based on a graphic novel by Budgette and Kajo Baldisimo, which features Alexander Trese, who I guess is a supernatural expert, or is like the warrior,
like a supernatural detective. Yeah.
There you go. Like she's the one they call when they couldn't figure out what's going on, or the police can't figure it out.
Yep.
So tell us how you got involved in that project.
You know, Jay Oliva and I were working at DreamWorks. I was his art director, and he was my executive producer. And when he went and started his own company, and the first project was Trese, he asked me to come aboard and art direct that. And you know, it was just me Jay, Dave Hartman, Mel Zwyer, Arthur Loftus, and then came Will Nichols, and it was just 5 or 6 of us in an office working on Trese, and yeah, it was pretty amazing. But right before that, Jay and I went to the Philippines to tour all these areas that are covered in the graphic novel, and there we met Tanya Yusan, who was the producer who brought Jay aboard, who actually acquired the license to produce Trese, and Shanti, who's the other producer, and then the 2 writers, Mick and Zig.
Yeah.
And they were all amazing, and we all went into this like this, it was like a war room, but what do you call it? It's a writer's summit. So we just stayed there for like 8 hours a day working on the script. Well, they did. I'm just listening. And then I started sketching, and then that's when I met Kajo. Kajo came over and talked to me about like the symbolism in the graphic novel, and like who these people are, like actually like depicting, and like the symbolism of certain things, and it was really great meeting Kajo.
That's pretty awesome. So and I think you guys did work kind of like before the pandemic hit or during the pandemic, or
no, it was before, way before.
Oh, perfect. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So in working with this project, what challenges did you kind of not face, but what obstacles did you have to go through with transferring genres from a comic book perspective to an animation perspective? Like what challenges did you kind of have to, or what perspective did you have to take to make that happen?
Well, it's not unlike all the other like DC shows that I've worked on where we take from comic books. This one in particular was difficult because it took place in the Philippines. I lived in the Philippines during college, but honestly, I only had one route to UST, and I didn't really veer too much except the malls and the movies. But like I didn't know the country as well as I, when I went back and we toured all these different areas, that's when I got to know the country. But there's still a lot of like nuances that I didn't really get because I didn't live there. And that's when, I call people, in the Philippines. I call you for certain things. I know know a lot about the Philippines, and my parents live there. Although, that's difficult because I don't think they still don't understand what I do. So why do you want to know that?
That's funny. You're the third artist who said the same thing about their parents. Same comment.
Yeah.
Like,
I want to tell a wonderful story about my mom, and she was telling her friends that I designed SIM cards. Okay, this is back when I was actually designing like theme park attractions. Theme park, not SIM cards. So for the longest time, I was known as someone who designed SIM cards.
Oh my gosh, I can totally see her saying that too. Oh, that Jojo, he decides cards.
Yeah.
Oh man, sorry, Auntie. if you're watching this, I apologize. But hello.
No, she still hasn't even watched Trese. She's still trying to get it to work.
Man, I mean, that's pretty awesome. I think this was a pretty hefty project for you. Seeing that it touches upon Filipino culture and how it's just something groundbreaking. I mean, there has been Filipino cartoons, but something that translates into the mainstream society, where our vampires, the aswang, don't glitter. or drive I don't know, Mercedes or Porsche or whatever. They're really scary vampires. Did you feel that was sort of like a challenge trying to translate that and trying to like have people visualize the folklore? Because Filipino folklore isn't really as popular as Greek mythology or Norse mythology.
Yeah, it was a lot of research, Dan, and quite honestly, if it weren't for the crew and their just ability to like take things on and learn things themselves, it's like they took on the Philippine culture themselves, and they took it upon themselves to learn as much as they could. And Will Nichols, the character designer, William New, Eileen Liu, Hawk Kang, Jae Hong, all the best of the best. I brought them together, and I'm very proud of that for this show. And I think it shows in the backgrounds and the mood and feel of the show that they really put their heart and soul into it. Even though it's not their culture, but I'm sure they could tell a lot of people about the Filipino culture now because they're like experts.
Absolutely. And I mean, I've watched it, but I'm not going to say any spoilers, of course. But I think, growing up in the Philippines when I was younger, or, I spent some time there, just seeing the iconic backgrounds, iconic buildings, and kind of just knowing that this is Manila.
Yeah.
I thought that was just amazing. But what were some of your favorite character designs during the essay?
Okay. I actually, Will Nichols did most of the character designs, but I did do a couple monsters, and I did help research what they should look like. And, having done characters for a long time, it's just up to me to make sure they're animatable, the colors fit, and they're, true and true to the original comic book. And also, as much, Filipino, culture and likenesses that we can get. If you watch the show, there's a lot of Caucasian people in there because they are actual, people who worked on the show.
Oh.
And everyone that worked on the show was actually converted into a zombie. And that zombie scene,
yeah.
Those are all of us. Like, I'm there, Jay gets his head blown off.
Oh wow.
I'm wrapped in like
bandages. You are then.
What?
You're the first guy.
Yeah,
I know who you are.
And like Dave Hartman's in there, and Lauren Arnold. It's funny because you have Caucasian zombies walking around, but that's the supervising director and line producer. Of course they should be in it.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to rewatch those scenes again. But no,
did you see the cameo of Kajo and Budgette?
Yes, well, first off in the files, and then I think secondly I picked up on the cages.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
I drew all those. The Tanya and Shanti are in the first cage. I drew them.
Oh,
and
wow.
Mick and Zig are in the second cage, and I drew Kajo and Budgette in the police files. But you know, it's we all wanted to get in on it, and it's like, to me, it's like an honor to have my head blown off.
Only interesting, Jojo. Only interesting. Other than that, we'd like your head to stay on, please.
Yeah.
So having done this huge project, what would you want both the established fans of the graphic novels and the newer viewers to take away from watching season 1 of Trese?
Oh, well, please watch it on Netflix so that the numbers show, so we can get another season, and hopefully a little like more episodes. And I mean, we did this with a very small crew. It's like unheard of, but it was still hard work, but it was so fun. And I want people to take away from it the fact that you have Filipinos here in the States who are trying extremely hard to bring the Filipino culture and pride forth in our country, as well as pay homage to everyone in the Philippines. And I don't think a lot of people know this, but I, along with my cousin Bob, started this company 20 years ago called Bolo Sportswear.
Oh.
And it promoted Filipino pride by my artwork on the back, and we'd go to PCNs and sponsor Glam Slam nights. It was we sold all across Southern and Northern California, all the way to Hawaii. And that brought me so much pride, knowing that I am spreading this the Filipino culture, and kind of like reinforcing the young Filipinos knowledge and sense of pride that are here. And I left that because he wanted to be a Navy SEAL, and I just wanted to be an artist and work in animation. And that's when we said we went off. But now with Trese coming, it's like full circle. It's like everything I wanted coming together. My animation career, my need to spread Filipino pride, and just bring forth the Filipino culture. It all came full circle. And that's why I'm so happy to work on Trese, and so like just happy in general working right now.
And I completely agree with you. Growing up, you didn't have that representation watching TV shows,
Oh, no. But, I'd often, talk about this with Jay, who's basically feels the same way. And it's so fun because we're together doing exactly what we want to be doing. And it's like the fact that I'm with my really good friends at Lex and Otis, and, being led by Jay, who he's at the top of his game. He really knows what he's doing. And whenever we work together, it's like, it just feels right. Stuff, like good stuff is produced. But I love your question, and thank you for allowing me to express that.
Of course. I mean, you and I had you and I had conversations about it, and I'm a huge fan of the comic books. So
yeah, and I love you for that, Dan. That's
Thank you. So when you said you were working on it, I was like, oh my God, can't tell anyone, but like inside it was like, oh my gosh, it's gonna happen. And it's, so it's I will tell you, the moment it came out on Netflix, my husband and I were just, all right, we have to watch. But our daughter can't be here because she's gonna have nightmares. You know, maybe when she's a little older, we can let her watch it. But man, there were like episodes, and we I think it was the one particular episode of the Chanak. I couldn't sleep after. I was like, okay, yeah, it was like I'm back to being a kid and I'm scared of these like folk tales.
Yeah. You know, that episode was directed by Dave Hartman, who's actually, he's my very good friend, but he's actually also the director of the live action Phantasm 5. And he was just loving working on Trese.
Oh my God.
And I'm working with him now also on Army and Twilight of the Gods.
Pretty awesome, Jojo. So if you wanted to follow you for future projects that you are working on, where can they find you?
Okay, Jojo Aguilar 33 on Twitter, hashtag Jojo Aguilar 33. And then, you know, you can, that's about it. I just joined Twitter this year. But, you know, you can look me up on Facebook. You know, yeah, that's it. You can look me up on IMDb.
And then how about if they wanted to follow anything Trese? Like, is there a specific?
Okay. Oh, please look at our Lex and Otis website. I'm very proud of, I'm also I'm most proud of being the president of the Lex and Otis Electric Bike Club.
Pretty awesome, Jojo.
Yeah. But please check out the Lex and Otis website. And yeah, on Trese, for Trese on Netflix, and hashtag Tabi Tabi Po. And yeah, please support Trese. Please help us get another season.
Yes, because there's 2 characters that I so want to see on animation, which I will not say because spoilers.
No, why not? It's go ahead.
It's their version of Darna.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That one, and the Madam.
Oh, okay. Oh my God. Yeah. Maybe we can get Zach to direct one of those.
So yeah, season 2. When it's in production and it comes out, those are my 2 specific requests, please.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you.
Well, if we ever get it, you know, I'll make sure, you know, a lot of your requests happen.
No worries. And you know me, NDA.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Jojo.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in on another one of Meet the 818's interviews. See you guys next time.